Dear student, in the chapter first, some basic concept of chemistry. Today we will discuss last topic, that is limiting reagent. Dear student, the limiting reagent is whenever more than one reactants with their individual quantity are given, then reactant which is consumed in the reactions is known as limiting reagent. That means if a chemical reaction occurs, if the required a chemical reaction that for example combustion in combustion, you know that hydrocarbons react with oxygen. If in a combustion, suppose that if in a combustion with 1 mole of hydrocarbons, 6 mole of oxygens are required, but in question 1 mole of hydrocarbons and 4 mole of oxygens are given, then you know that in this reaction, 1 mole of hydrocarbons, 6 mole of oxygen required, but in questions only 4 mole of oxygens are given. That means from the required amount 2 mole of oxygen less. That in this reaction, during the reaction, completion of the reaction, oxygen consumed without completion the reaction, and the amount of carbon dioxide, water are produced depend upon the limiting reagent that is consumed in the reaction. Dear student, so we write here whenever more than one reactants in their individual quantities are given, then reactant which consumed in the reaction is known as the limiting reagent. Okay, but you know that you required for the reactions which are explained by me, 1 mole of with 1 mole of hydrocarbon, 6 mole of oxygen, but in question 4 mole of oxygens are given, so the reaction consumed, oxygen consumed during the reactions, but in complete combustion of hydrocarbon, because for the complete combustion 6 mole of oxygen required, but given mole 4, so the hydrocarbons are not completely converted into carbon dioxide and water. It means some amount of hydrocarbons left during the reaction. Here, reactant which is left during the reaction is known as excess reagent. That means hydrocarbons is a excess reagent, whereas oxygen which consumed during the reaction is known as limiting reagent. Dear student, the amount of product formed depends upon the limiting reagent. In any chemical reaction, if in a questions asked the amount of product formed, first you find which is a limiting reagent, because the product formed depends upon the limiting reagent, that is Lr. Okay student, now discuss about limiting reagent by the example. In this example, a reactions are given A plus 2B equal to C. Suppose this equation is a balanced equation, so the stoichiometric coefficient of this reaction is here 1 mole of A, 2 mole of B. Okay, that means in this reaction 1 mole of A react with 2 mole of B. But if in a questions given 4 mole of A react with 6 mole of B. Then first you find who is the limiting reagent from A and B. For the finding limiting reagent A from A and B, you write, you know that for 1 mole of A required 2 mole of B. But in question, apply by the unitary method. For 1 mole of A required 2 mole of B. So for 4 mole of A required 2 into 4, that is 8 moles of B. But dear student, with 4 mole of A, here required mole of B is 8. But in questions only 6 mole of B are given. So we say that the given mole of B, 6 mole, are less than the required mole with 8 moles, so it is completely consumed during the reaction. It means that is B is a limiting reagent. Dear student, you solve more and more questions which are given in your NCERT book, NCERT textbook, NCERT examiner, and make the notes about the explanations which are given on whiteboard. Okay student, in next video we will discuss new chapters. Thank you very much.